Good evening and welcome to BizNews. I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez.
Good evening, Beth.
Tonight we're going to talk about the booming real estate industry with our guest, the pioneer, the one and only, architect Nestor Mangio. Thank you for being on our show, Nestor.
Thank you, Beth, and good evening.
Good evening. And also with your daughter, Jam,
Hi, good evening.
who is an interior designer, part of the
Yes.
family. And then your son, Brian, who's the
Yes.
architect also.
DJ.
Yes, good evening, Beth.
Yeah, good evening.
Nestor.
So first, Nestor, you are the pioneer in Lakeshore resorts development. Tell us how that started.
Well, I'm a waterman, and so I've been dreaming of doing a residential village or community with a water feature. And this time I did it with a 12-hectare man-made lake. It's a different development. It is the pioneer in lake resort residential development, and after that it has become a benchmark for other development. You know very well there are other developments.
12 hectares is the largest man-made in the lake in the Philippines.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is located
In kilometer 721 along North Luzon Expressway, Mexico, Pampanga, via Mexico exit.
It's at the crossroad of two major developments, Clark Airport and the proposed Bulacan Airport of San Miguel, no?
Yes, and actually it's a crossroad of north-south, which is probably as far as Baguio,
Yeah.
Manila, and then east in Medvesia and Zambales on the west. So actually, practically it's a
Pag
crossroad.
nakita mo yung Lakeshore, di ka natutuloy sa Baguio. Di ba? Kasi it's a resort by itself.
or pagpunta mo doon, di ka na uuwi.
Saka walang hassle, nasa tabi na expressway.
Yes,
Diba?
It's also the last stop that you have in the expressway before you reach
Yeah.
Baguio, because we have there McDonald's and Starbucks.
Yeah.
So we're both open at the North Luzon Expressway and also inside the community. We have
The,
two
the
markets.
whole property, how large is it? And then how are you actually participating in this one?
Well, I start with interior design. So they do the real estate, they do the structure,
Yeah.
and I come in to do the interiors. So
Ano
apart
naman
from
ang design
that,
concepts, all
yes.
elements that you put into the
so we complement, like we
houses.
do build and design in a package in one. But then for me also, I also venture out in my own way. So I have other clientele apart from what I get from my father.
Yeah. Okay.
So what style?
I'd like to say I do an understated luxury style with my partners at Empire Designs. That's the name of the company.
Yeah.
And we spearhead luxurious designs, but they don't really cost that much.
So value for
Luxury
money.
means
yes,
what?
that's
Means
a
what?
secret actually. Value for money.
So how do you put that together without,
Too much
spending
cost.
so much?
Well, it actually depends on the style of the client. So if they want a certain style, we twist it in a way that we make it timeless and luxurious.
Yeah.
It has to be timeless. It has
Yeah.
to still be trendy and uso in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. So how'd you do that with Lakeshore?
We tried to manipulate it with the current trends of the country. So we go with the trends because we have to cater to what is fashionable, what is uso, what the market would bite to.
Yeah.
So that's how we actually complement, and then we just adjust as the years go by. We update current structures, we update our current trends. So I think with that powerhouse of us three, it makes
Yeah.
it a really strong selling point.
Si
Very
BJ naman,
lucky,
how do you complement your dad's profession
Well, I
or
think
work?
the three of us work well together. It's because we're from three separate generations.
That's
so
true.
we're able to cater to different markets.
Yeah.
Like my dad started it, I came in after, and then now Jam is here. So if you were born before the 70s, in the 70s, and after the 70s, it's like we got you.
Yeah.
'Cause
We
he's
have
a-
someone that could understand your
yeah.
needs. Yes.
I agree. He's a baby boomer. My brother is a Gen X, and I'm a millennial. So we
okay.
all, you think we clash, but we actually complement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So
How
you
did-
traverse easily 90 years,
Several
no?
generations.
90 years
That's
seems so
correct.
much,
One
but
generation is 30 years, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really good. How did you manage to have it's like a family affair when you kind of entice the
It's family affair but very
Yeah.
professional. Yeah.
Well, they've seen me work and how I succeeded in my profession. So I guess they've been inspired
Yes.
in the practice of my profession. And with God's blessing, we're very successful in all our undertakings. We started as an architect,
Yeah.
And then I went into construction. We're now a AAA contractor. And then I went into urban planning, interior designer, and now we are property developers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
how
have-
is the business today in terms of number of projects done, current projects, ganyan, value of
Well,
projects
the
done?
real estate, we believe that this year is the stellar year. It's going to be outstanding.
Uh-huh.
Why?
This year for real estate, this
Why
year?
so?
Yes, because
Yeah.
you know very well that the remittances of our OFWs, the investment from multi companies, and then the BPOs,
Yeah.
and there's a new market, the online games.
Yeah,
Yes.
Chinese
Of
market.
course, the
Chinese
build will prime several properties
Yeah.
in the countryside, and this will be good for
Not to
real
mention
estate
the
development.
infrastructure, no?
Yes.
It's going to go through
So
several.
Duterte is good for real estate, good for business.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And you know, real estate is a primary in economic activity.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There's a 18 industries multiplier.
Yeah, 80
in the
ancillary
construction.
industries, no? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the growth like looking for, let's say, for
Double
the
digit ba?
for the real estate and also for you?
Well, you know, I was just reading the papers this morning. Two of the big developers, their growth compared to last year is 14 and 12%,
Yeah. Double digit, no?
double digit. So also on retail,
Yeah.
you know, the retail, they reinvented themselves, making it a retail and community.
Yeah, yeah.
They now built
Ano,
residential.
Live, work, and play.
Yes,
Yeah.
work and play now.
Yeah, which is now the standard.
The
for a lot
standard
of-
and molding will still stay in the Filipino lifestyle, although e-commerce is very popular.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have both.
We have both, yes.
Yeah.
Pero ikaw naman, Jam, ano ba, how are you inspired with your design? How do you get them or extract them from what inspiration?
I actually, you can't help it, but your own personality is reflected in whatever you design. And me, I want to be conscious of the environment. That's why, hence,
Very
you know,
good.
sustainability was so in,
Yeah.
even still now.
Yeah.
Green interior. So I want to give back also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
That's
just take from the
awesome.
earth, but also give back something.
If I were to ask, what are your landmark designs? Can you cite them?
Yes, actually, we do a lot of commercial buildings for the
commercial
Ayala
building.
land and Anchor Land, Federal Land. So we actually we're still doing actually the Sequoia Towers and the Chroma Towers. Chroma is in Makati and Sequoia is in BGC. So we do all the common areas, all the amenities that they offer for the residents.
So what kind of green, environmental
Parang
friendly
may
things?
youthful
Yes.
look ang mga design, di ba, ngayon?
Yes.
Kasi Ayala
you know,
employs
like-
very young designers and architects,
That's
no?
true.
Oo.
Actually, you see the trends in the styles, right? You can go from tropical to Zen, and we had the industrial phase, and it's about to fade actually.
Yeah.
What matters is people are more conscious now, just that they are the same with their food. You want to go organic, you want to go
Yes.
less pesticides.
That's right.
So I think it reflects also with the style you put into your home,
Yeah.
into your
Yes.
building, into your
So what kind
development.
of green
So-
items do you actually incorporate
green,
in
yeah.
what you're...
So we actually like to reuse and upcycle a lot of existing materials. We try to lessen our carbon footprint in the
Yes.
world. Sadly, we don't have a lot of those available here,
Yeah.
compared to Western countries. But we just want to be conscious of the choices that we put
Can you give an
in.
example, Jam, of what you've
Okay.
upcycled?
We
Okay, yung
actually
salita na yun,
do.
upcycle.
Since-
Yeah, instead of recycle, upcycle.
Upcycle.
So what have you upcycled?
It actually helps a lot with my father because
Yeah.
he builds a lot of churches for
Yeah.
the Latter-day Saints, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of pre-cut glass. So we actually reuse them, the plate glass, and we have them tempered for our facades, for
tinatemper.
our
Excellent.
tables.
It's
So we actually do those
fantastic.
too. He actually helped a lot
Yeah.
during
The
my
Mormon
college
churches
days
are
with
very nice,
upcycling.
Yeah. Do you take a look at the suppliers
no?
also, like what they have? Like
Well,
if
we have
they're-
an excess first, and then
Yes.
we look at what we have from the
Right.
suppliers.
Yeah. Excellent.
So, Mormon,
Yeah.
just kayo ba gumawa dito sa may Libis ba yun? O sa may White Plains?
We did the building there.
Ang ganda nun,
Tapos may
that's
ginagawa
very
kami ngayon
nice.
sa Taguig,
Oh.
the Bicol. At any one time, we're doing about 3 of those churches.
Maski hindi ka
Beautiful.
nagsisimba, papasok ka sa simbahan.
Pero they're beautiful,
Oh, they're
clean,
Well maintained.
American
very
standard.
nice. Yes.
And
Beautiful.
high quality.
Yeah. All right. We're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews. So Jam, that the suppliers, do you encourage suppliers to be, to be
Yes,
green?
to be
How do
more
you-
like environmentally conscious. If you actually, the trick is they cost more most of the time. Just like you buy your
Cost
organic
mo, mahal
food,
ang
it
kahoy
costs
ngayon, no?
more. So what you can do when you select like materials that you want to use, you would have to go for the medium of in terms of price range. Because if you go low end, they sometimes
It's not
break
worth it.
easily for the longevity of the product. It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
Low
so
kamukha ng
do
MBA.
the
You get
medium
what you pay
price
for,
range,
yeah.
not the highest, the medium, and then you just have to know how conscious the supplier, the source is, where they get it from, if they give back to the environment.
Yeah.
That is the big turning point
that's-
how you
yeah,
choose.
and that's a good, it's not only a trend, but it's actually good. That's what we need to do for the environment right now.
Yeah.
Step by step, yes.
Yes. So BJ, with your being an architect, you're going to be building dreams and visions,
Yes.
right? So how do you now incorporate
Fulfilling
green,
dreams.
sustainability? Exactly. How do you now incorporate the green and sustainability in what you're building?
That's why at times Jam and I and my dad work together. So we also try to incorporate green living into the plans that we do. Of course, different clients will have different lifestyles.
Yes.
But we try to encourage them to have a plan that is very open, with natural ventilation.
Can you share with us one of your favorite ones that you've done?
Okay, one of the projects we did, which is
Dover Hill,
Tony's
oh.
familiar also, would be Dover Hill.
Over here.
We created an
Basement, may
environment
ventilation.
for a 1 hectare development of townhomes, around
1 hectare lang
95.
pala yun, ah.
Yes, around 95 townhomes in one development. But to make it greener, what we did is a typical townhouse will have you a driveway in the middle of the units. No gardens, all driveways.
Yeah.
So what we did is we elevated the gardens.
Yeah.
So we had all service areas in the basement with all the garages and driveways. And then on the second floor, we placed the kitchen, living, and dining, all connected to a garden in front.
Yeah.
So it's like a second level garden. So now kids are able to play the whole day without the parents being threatened of having them run over by cars.
No unit is
Right.
without a
Yeah.
garden, di ba?
And even if cars are running under, you don't
That's right.
hear the
Worry,
noise,
yeah.
you don't smell the
You don't worry.
pollution. So it's a much more healthier lifestyle. It's a more healthier environment. And
Safer.
they have their amenities, their clubhouses, and swimming pools right on the same level as the living room.
They have a
Right.
3-story
Yeah.
athletic club.
Yes, there's a
And
there's
there's
a great
also like a
facility
high
there.
ceiling.
Yes,
on
high
the
ceiling
high
works a
ceiling.
lot.
Skylights, huh?
Yeah,
Or
so that
skylights.
the heat doesn't really affect the space that much. Yeah, and then there's more light, there's more air that comes in
Much
as well.
greenery.
Yeah.
More
Yes.
greenery.
And to think with all the things that you said, BJ, what is the footprint of that one
1
unit?
hectare, 10,000
Yeah.
square
One
meters.
unit. What's the
One
footprint
unit
of one
has a footprint of around
300.
80 square meters.
80 square
Yes.
meters.
A
And then
footprint,
how
yeah.
many floors is that?
Four levels.
Four levels. So imagine what you've actually talked about. You put everything in a 80
yes.
square meter footprint.
Yes.
That's wonderful. You're very efficient.
And it's also because properties are getting too expensive already. So we have to contain our units in a small parcel of land and then maximize by going up to floors,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
4 floors high. This
Right.
enables us to create a better strategy for our clients to be able to cater to more buyers as well.
Yeah. But still have the feel that you have parking.
Yes, you have
You have
parking.
space for your living room.
Parking
You have your
for-
own
for 3
private
cars, huh?
space.
For 3
Yes.
cars.
For 3 cars, especially
Yes.
SUVs if you live over there. He only drives SUVs, I
Yes,
think.
UVs, huh? That's
Yeah,
why what we
so-
did also to give it more luxury. The third floor we only dedicated to the master bedroom.
Yeah.
Ah.
So you have one floor all to the husband and the wife, and then the kids stay on the fourth
Only the
floor.
master
Right.
bedroom's
Yeah.
80 square meters because that's the
Yeah.
footprint. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have a big walk-in closet, a big toilet, even if you live in a townhomes.
Yeah. Wow, that's excellent. Then it's I don't know. I guess internet ready. All
Yes,
the
all.
So yan, Lakeshore, Dover Hill. Ano pa ang next
Well, we
project
do
niya?
a lot of master plans. We do a lot
Master
of
planning.
master plans for Century, and
Yeah.
we used to do also with Eaton Properties and Federal Land.
your experience, Nestor. How do you now share? For example, urban planning is so important. So we want to learn from our mistakes and just don't do the mistake again. So the new city now, actually a Clark Green City, supposed to be touted by the New York Times, among
Yeah.
others, that it is the benchmark.
Yes.
we're not going to be repeating the mistakes that was done from
In Metro Manila.
in
Yeah.
Metro Manila.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some of the key things that makes urban planning so important in a new city like Clark?
Well, we're very lucky in this location because we're starting from ground zero. So you can do all your planning, the zoning, and aside from doing smart and green cities nowadays, there's a new standard now we call it well-being, wherein you encourage people to live healthy. There is a lot of outdoor spaces, breathing spaces, and this one would be a very intelligent city. There'll be cameras all over the streets, monitoring crime.
Yeah.
Saan yan,
traffic.
Nes?
Ito yung Clark New City.
Clark New City.
It's going to be
You are part of the design team? Or you're designing
No,
it?
actually, we just monitor the development being part of the chamber in Pampanga, Pampanga Commerce. So, we
Yan yung
monitor
Clark
it.
Green City?
Yes.
That's how many
And
hectares? 170?
9,450. It's
9,000, no?
so they started actually the construction.
Makati is only 1,000 hectares.
See,
So
just
that's
like nine times.
Yes.
what the size of
9 times.
Makati.
So we will avoid the mistake of the horrendous traffic here
Yes,
in Metro
yeah.
Manila, the pollution.
Yes.
Horrendous is an understatement.
Yeah. in many ways, ano?
But it's a beautiful
Really?
parking lot.
But if you will hear
Oh,
our
my.
president, I once heard him, in 20 years he said, Metro Manila will be dead.
Would be dead. Yeah.
said that,
You
right?
know, and it's true if we don't do anything.
If
So,
you don't do anything. So
wow.
it's good that the president is encouraging now countryside
Yes.
development
Yeah.
to decongest Manila
Right.
and make it again livable.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what are some of the mistakes that we're not going to be doing there? What are some of the new things now with Clark Green City?
Well, of course, the density. We're very particular about density. This Metro Manila became so
How
populated.
many people ba per square meter of Metro Manila ngayon? The highest density?
One of the highest density in the world because we have 20 million already.
Yeah.
If you're saying it's 1,000,
Yeah.
so what's that?
Yeah.
2,000 per hectare.
Yeah.
It's a highly
Yeah.
density city.
Yeah.
But I think what's important with Clark Green City is
Yeah.
because it's all new, and then it will adapt to the new lifestyle that people have, because they're planning to have better transportation systems, integrated transportation systems. They have jogging paths, they have bike lanes.
Saka
A lot of people take their bikes to work now.
That's
So,
good.
90,000 hectares,
Yeah.
di ba?
So that will all adjust to the
Yes,
new
you
You
lifestyle.
include the
and
gunnery
you-
range. Ganon.
The total Clark areas,
90,000, di ba?
the original main zone is 28,000.
Oo.
And then, of course, the,
Tapos may
the,
backyard
the,
siya.
the green Clark New City, I think it's another 40,000.
40. Oo. So, ilan na yun? 70
and
na.
wood terrain, rolling.
So that's
Beautiful
what?
view.
Easily 80,000 hectares, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will bring the development also all the way up to Tarlac, because it's no longer in Mabalacat and Angeles area. The new
Actually, Clark
green
straddles
cities
what, 3 provinces,
almost in
no?
Tarlac. Yeah.
Clark is part is Angeles,
Oo.
Mabalacat, and
Yeah,
Tarlac.
yeah, yeah.
Or the Bamban area and Capas.
Yeah.
So, Pampanga now is positioned to be the next economic and urban hub of the country.
Yeah. It's the next capital.
The next capital.
Yeah, yeah.
Because literally all roads leads to Pampanga.
Yeah. Actually, all roads lead north.
That's north.
And it's a very nice area kasi mostly plains,
Yes,
di ba?
Yes.
flat.
Wala,
Yeah.
mostly flat.
Buildable.
oo.
So from the south, from Manila, especially when you have the connector road,
Yeah.
from the
10 minutes.
Santa Rosa area, you can go to Pampanga.
Yeah.
From Baguio via Tiplex.
Yeah.
From Subic in the west via SCTEX.
SCTEX.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an east expressway from the east.
I-explain niya ba yung
centrally
MRT
located.
component?
And then the train.
Yeah,
There's
train.
no MRT, but there'll be a train.
The North Rail.
So it is multimodal,
Yeah.
land, sea, air, and rail. Access.
So, kumpleto.
Kompleto.
Wow, the next hub there. I'm sure you have several real estate properties surrounding there as well, right now and in the future. All right, we're gonna continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews. Okay, so what are some of the things that that we're looking at? There's terminals. There's it's mixed use, everything, live, work, and play.
Well, at the Clark International Airport, I used to be part of that airport.
Yes.
And before I left, we were able to build the first terminal. Now they're expanding to another 8 million capacity.
Yeah.
And the original one, which is about 4 million capacity, when we were talking to AirAsia, Tony Fernandez told us, you give us the old terminal and we'll bring you 10 million passengers.
10 million.
And 10 million, of course, there'll be a need for budget hotels,
Yeah.
of course, the tours, the different
10
industries.
million
that will
siguro, you
benefit.
need about 20,000 rooms, no?
Yeah.
Easily.
And he can do that. He did it in other countries other than Malaysia. Other than Malaysia.
Kasi the theory is build it and they will come.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in every cities, when you have an airport, it becomes a mega city.
Oh, mega
It
city.
becomes
Yes,
with a
of
population
course.
of more than 10 million. And it is a economic catalyst of the city.
Aviation industry is 9% of GDP. Yeah.
So logistics will come in, tourists, and if you have tourists, of course, the hospitality business, the food, automotive.
Most of
Yes.
the Middle East countries, they're built around airports, diba?
Yes.
Qatar, Doha. ganyan.
Almost all cities. In fact, they say Manila or Makati became a financial district because of its proximity to the NAIA.
In fact, Makati itself was an airport.
Yes,
Original
that's
airport,
right.
yeah.
The
Nielsen
Nielsen
Tower.
Tower. Yes.
Tower.
Yeah.
In fact, it was right in the center of Ayala.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it became the location for the stock exchange. No?
Yes.
And now it's going to be the location for the most expensive condo in the Philippines.
Yes.
Oh yes, that area. So we're not worried even if there be another airport in Bulacan.
Kaya-kaya niya.
Although
Kaya-kaya.
this is still part of Central Luzon.
Yeah.
Because many cities in the world, from New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco,
They have 2 or 3 airports.
they have 2 or 3. Some
Paris
even
has
have
3
5.
airports.
Yeah,
Ah,
Paris.
5? Sino may 5?
London. I
London
think
has
it's
3.
Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Yes.
Yung liit niyo, 5 ang
They
airports.
have 5. So, because they saw the importance of an
Yeah.
airport.
But what
New
that
York
means
has
is
3, no?
access. Access.
Yes.
It opens up access.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, it opens up economic activity.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes they call, they've been calling Clark now as the gateway to the Asian countries.
Yeah.
Because we have about average of 65 flights a day in Clark now.
Actually, Manila should be the gateway of Asia. It's only less than 4 hours to all major cities.
Yes.
Singapore, Bangkok, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Osaka, Seoul, yeah, Shanghai, Beijing. Less than 4 hours away.
But,
it's
the-
over
the
capacity.
traffic is not only on the ground, it's also in the air.
Traffic is on the
right, yeah.
traffic is in the air and on the ground sa parsa ano while waiting for your gate. No? Oo. Mas
Taxiing.
grabe yun, no?
You know, in Clark, if you fly there, it's very easy to come in. In 15 minutes, you're in the waiting lounge.
Actually,
Coming out, 15 minutes, you're out of the airport.
My experience, 10 minutes.
10
Oh,
minutes.
that's
10
right.
minutes.
That's true, that's true.
Which is the international standard, no? That is the standard of Singapore,
Yeah.
Sanji. You get your luggage 10 minutes after
10
getting
minutes.
off
Us,
the
we
plane.
timed ours was 12 to 15 minutes from the gate of the plane
Yeah.
all the way to the car.
Yeah.
And the idea is the bag, the luggages waits for the passengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not you waiting for
Not the
them.
other way around.
Yes.
The only one holding up the passenger is immigration and customs. But then, no, inspection, so clear ka sa custom. And now, sa Clark ba, visual na? Biometric? Very-
Not yet, I think. Not yet.
Wala na yung mga questions, how long are you going to stay?
No,
Where you go? Wala na
they're
ganun, no?
very courteous and Clark.
Kasi pre-cleared ka, o pre-processed ka, so to speak. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ang bilis. Through the immigrations, yun nga, 10-12 minutes you'll be out of the
World class,
airport.
no?
Yeah.
Problema ko lang, pag gumagamit ako ng Clark, Balintawak. 80
Traffic.
kilometers away.
Ayun.
Oo.
No, if you're coming from Balintawak, you, instead of going to Naya, you should
papasok ka ng Manila, grabe ang Balintawak.
Oh, yes.
But there was this one time we went abroad, and then my sister also went abroad at the same time.
Yeah.
I used Clark, she used
Naiya.
Naiya. We came from Quezon City. It took me 1 and 15 minutes to get to Clark.
Yeah.
It took her 2 hours to line up for immigration
ganon?
in Naya. So I
That's
told her,
funny.
that's fine with me. I was in the car. sitting down, traveling. She was there
Immigration,
standing up,
nakatayo ka,
waiting in
Oh my
line.
gosh.
That must be the longest immigration counter in the world.
Yes.
I think people should realize the convenience in flying out of Clark and coming in. Yes, especially if we live in this area.
Right.
This is very convenient from to Clark.
And for a tourist, the airport is the first part of the flying, of the travel
Yeah,
experience.
the first and the last one.
First
Yeah,
and the last,
first and last.
It should leave an impression on you.
Yeah, they
A
leave the
good
most
one.
A
like-
good
Yes.
one.
A
Very
good
good
one.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
So, real estate's going to be booming, ganon, especially in
It will
Central
continue
Luzon.
booming even. It has been booming for the last 17 years.
17 years.
It's unprecedented and unusual because normally the real
That's
estate
the
cycle,
longest,
7 years. Malaki
Yes,
yan, roller
the
coaster.
longest economic expansion in the
Yeah.
history, which
Yes,
was
in
started
Asia.
by GMA. It was started by
Yes.
GMA.
Yeah.
34 consecutive quarters.
And you know, our GDP now is average of about 6.7, 6.8.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes the highest in Asia,
Yeah.
higher than China.
And there's no sense of overheating for the real estate
There's none. It's not true.
in any of the sectors.
There's no overheating because
Commercial,
there's nothing to
residential.
hit yet, di ba? You haven't yet started eh. Oh.
You know, we've been
time's
building a
not
lot
yet
of
high.
units. There's a new market, and they're not buying 1 or 2 units. They're buying the 1 floor, the whole building. The
Oh,
Chinese.
online gaming
Yeah.
daw,
Is it
online
online?
gaming.
I think
They're
that-
buying for for investments or for their
No,
this is
they're
commercial.
online. They're buying units to sleep the night.
Also, they're into online, and then they need all these residential condos
Yeah,
for
yeah.
them
Yeah.
to
For
stay.
the- yeah.
I think that shows you how good our economy is. Even us in architecture, we're getting clients, Japanese companies,
So
Chinese
international na
companies,
kagad kayo?
European companies. They're all investing in the Philippines. I think it's also, once they get a partner here and build here, returns are much better.
Ayun ang mainit, the
Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the hottest place in
correct.
town in
Yeah.
Asia. Philippines.
In
diba?
Asia, we have the highest return on investment, 7.5 average.
Ah, gano'n?
The others, they go 10, 12, 15. But ours is 7.5. That's why they're all running into
Yeah.
the Philippines.
Wow.
So, you must be very rich.
I just do the drawing.
I think our clients do well.
They do better.
They do better.
They do
Share,
better.
share with
Yeah.
us some of like the trends and also the challenges that you're for an architect.
Si Bam,
Okay.
si Bam,
Yeah.
si Bam.
I'll add to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
One of my clients called me architect businessman. Well, because what we do in our design, we don't only do aesthetic or function. We compute the return of their investment. We just don't put a decorative item here, an extra
Ah,
cost.
ganon.
But we make sure that his investment is recovered the rest time possible.
Yes.
Bali, architect economist ka pala.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We do even the feasibility study for them when we present the drawings.
It's because we always tell them without a sound business plan, all of these projects won't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
We won't get projects if there's not a
Are
good
there some
business
unique
plan.
examples that you can share? Unique
No.
anecdotes that you can share?
Well, we won't mention the particular project,
Yes.
but there were projects that they asked us to do, let's say, a 10-unit townhouse property. But then once we came up with the plan, we were able to give them 15. So we told them, we're giving you 50% more of what
Yeah.
you intended to have.
Yeah.
So they
So that
imputed
creates
profit of
better
50% right
business
away. No?
for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Then there are some times that they wanted units that were so luxurious, but then we tried to study the market around the community. Then we told them to kind of bring it down to the middle level because it will be harder to sell more expensive units at a longer time, and it will be easier to sell something more affordable at a faster rate.
Yeah.
So that makes better business.
and that probably
sense.
makes you a bit more differentiated
Yes,
from the others.
we also help them in market research. So that's why we get repeat clients because of that, because they
Yes.
made money in their in the project that we designed.
Yeah.
I think it's an added service that we give them, and we don't even charge for
Yeah,
that. See,
that's
so
wonderful.
we're as architect, but we help them in their businesses as well.
Bali, you are the
Yeah.
architect
Yeah.
who looks beyond.
That will be a nice way of putting
Beyond,
it.
beyond and below the bottom
Well, looks for the
line.
good of the client
For
also.
the business
Yes.
conscience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always for the
All right,
client.
we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. So, BJ, you were mentioning, how there's like foreign investors who actually come in and tie up with locals like us, like
Yes.
you. there's some, information exchange, and what kind of new stuff that you're actually sharing with the foreigners. Why do they want to work with us?
Well, the first reason why they want to work with us is I think we're very hardworking. You see a lot of firms, even architectural firms in Singapore, most of their staffs are Filipinos. And a lot of them are also from Pampanga because it's very easy to fly from Pampanga to Singapore. We have those budget airlines. Also with Japanese, they're very familiar with Filipinos as well. They know they could be trusted. They know that they don't complain that much.
The Filipinos are hardworking, creative, productive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also,
Productive, we even produce 2 million babies a year. One of the fastest growing.
but creative also, Jam.
We have a really good network of creative minds here.
Yeah.
We know what we can do. It's just the implementation sometimes gets
Yeah.
shorthanded. So a lot of times, a lot of Filipinos, they move abroad, better opportunities. But actually, given if you have those opportunities here, they would all stay. They would
Yeah.
all stay. Because, we can really succeed in being a country and localizing all our talent
Yeah,
here.
I agree.
Hopefully with all these sustained developments, we could
Yeah.
invite again the Filipinos working abroad to go back to the Philippines and share the things that they've learned abroad.
That they don't need to actually work abroad, which is
See,
what the president
Architect
wants.
Mangio,
Yes.
as an architect, what is your dream to build?
Well, at one time, I wanted to build the project of Father Suarez, the tallest statue of Mama Mary.
Father Suarez. Yung sa
Monterrey.
shrine.
Unfortunately, there were some
That was an
religious
ambitious project,
issues,
no?
Yes.
100 hectares yun, di ba? Oh.
Yeah, it was given by your friend, San Miguel.
Yeah.
And we were ready with it, with funding.
Yeah.
But there were some prohibition, some religious activities there. So without
may
that,
ganon.
we said we cannot pursue the project.
The project was 100 hectares. How many chapels or churches? 14 ba?
There were 7 small chapels, replica of like the House of Mama Mary, the
Scala Santa.
Scala Santa.
Yeah.
So we have all this because buildings we can always find a project building, but this one is very unique.
The
Why
pilgrimage
why
site.
was it not
It would have been
allowed?
a shrine on the level of Lourdes and di ba?
so why?
Fatima.
Yes.
or-
And then if you see that figure, just like in Rio de Janeiro,
Yeah.
you say it's
Yeah, yes,
Philippines.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah.
It will bring in international pilgrims and tourists.
What happened?
Well, he was
Religious
not allowed.
rivalry.
He was not allowed to say mass. So what can we do if you don't say mass
Religious
there?
Yeah.
A lot of hindrances
Kasi
to that.
some people got jealous of Father Suarez's miracle powers. Yeah. Healing powers. Diba?
Maybe also he's ahead of his time, so
Oh, yeah.
people are still
That's
adjusting
too
into
bad.
that kind of.
Maybe it's just timing.
yeah.
So
Hopefully.
outside of
I
that,
hope
what's
so.
the next big dream?
Well, of course, we always love to design township and
Township.
communities because sabi ko nga, yung mga ginagawa ko ito, makikita mo sa Google Map eh.
Oh,
Yes.
diba? Oh.
You go to the Google Map, you'll see the whole Lakeshore there
Yeah.
in the map.
Oh. So they become your monuments, no?
Yes, it's very visible. Very visible. And you see people happily living in the community. Like in the Lakeshore, there's a lot of open spaces,
Yeah.
outdoor sports.
Yeah.
So you see them walking around the lake,
300
fishing,
hectares, that's
biking.
big, ah.
Yes.
Kasi the Makati Central Business District is only 100 hectares.
Yes, also bigger than
Yeah.
Fort Bonifacio.
Yeah.
So we've catered in the first
It
phase of
is.
It
no?
is, yes. It
Yeah.
is bigger
Yeah,
than Fort
200 lang ang Fort
Bonifacio.
Bonifacio.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
the
200
first phase
hectares.
was 250. Now we're working on the 100-hectare Flavorscapes project.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
BJ.
Aside
Yeah,
by
what,
the-
what
Paano
is that?
yan?
That's
What
why,
is
talking about favorite
This Lakeshore,
projects,
no?
this one is really special to us because we started everything. We started with acquiring the land, and then marketing it, doing the master plan, and then building the structures. But we started that around more than 10 years ago. So now that the new generation have come in and there's a totally different market, we used to cater to a more luxurious market. But now, we partnered up with Revolution and created this new community in the next 100 hectares of our development. It's called Flavorscapes because we did research. Not all of us play golf. Not all of us play sports, but all of us do eat. And once we eat, we
We all
kind of
gather to
bond.
eat.
Yeah, we kind of bond together.
Yes.
Yeah, we bond together. So we eat with our friends, we eat with our family. So we
Okay.
said, why not build a global community that is centered on food? That's why we called it Flavorscapes.
Flavorscapes.
Yeah,
Flavorscapes, huh?
It's a
Nice.
huge
Kay
food
Manny
park
Villar likes
community.
cakes to Flavorscapes.
This one,
Well,
you-
sounds like cuisine to me, huh?
yeah. It's because also Pampanga is like the center
Yeah.
of culinary in the Philippines. So we told them, why not only showcase local? Why not also do something global?
So, this is a how many hectare project?
This is around 100 hectares.
100 hectare
100
project.
to
Anong main
150
features
hectares
niyan?
for now. So we will have floating cinemas, we will have museums of ice cream, a microbrewery, museums of candy and chocolate. So it's not only
Well, it's a
tasting the
theme
food,
park
it's
for
learning about the
restaurants.
food as well.
BJ, it's a theme park for restaurants.
Yes, sir,
Yes.
because we will be
On
having
100 hectares?
yes, pop-up shops.
Ang yaman nyo, 100 hectares.
no, no, but we've partnered, and I think it's the concept that's really selling it to the market right now. We want also the residents to be entrepreneurs. We want them to set up their own restaurants, their own stores, so that they don't have to look for work anymore.
Wow.
It's
It's
a very
really
noble
a
concept,
live,
no?
work, and play community.
Correct.
So you have around hundreds of pop-up stores around the community. Walking around the community is like flying all around the world, tasting different cuisines.
So how many cuisines will be represented? Mga 20?
No, sir. That's around 70 to 80 cuisines around the world. Yes.
So sa Philippines, sila naman represented.
Well, we have the different regions. So right now we're selling also pop-ups with the concepts of the different cuisines.
So kung
they
gusto
will
mo
all
na
be
masarap na
curated.
lapang,
Yeah.
go to Flavorscapes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you really want to
you
have a
escape from
food
Metro
trip,
Manila
yeah.
to taste the best cuisine of the world.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
ultimate
Right.
food trip.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
the
there.
ultimate food trip. Yeah.
So you savor and
Yeah.
flavor the moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then
And
we
it has
also
started?
we've started land development. We're done with our plans, and we actually launched it last February.
Kailan pwedeng kumain na dyan?
Well, we have an event.
Na-excited na ako.
We have an event this coming month to just relaunch it in
So,
Pampanga.
sarap ng pagkain
But-
ng Pampanga.
But by
no?
February
I like
of
hibok-hibok.
next year,
Diba? Sarap, no?
you will see homes already, and we will be handing over some of the homes already to our buyers.
By
You mean the
February.
homes
By
will be
February.
surrounded by restaurants?
Yes, sir. It's like we have like a European village, an Asian village, and a
Oh, how
Western
nice.
village.
Well, what's the footprint of one house?
Well, we from
100.
our average before of Lakeshore, which was around 300 square meters, we're now catering to a market of 1.3 million house and lot to 3 million pesos.
Ano footprint nun? 80?
Ah,
80 square meter?
45 to around
45.
100. Yes.
Tama-tama lang yan, no?
Yes.
Oo.
It-
Kasi kung gusto mo mas malaki, go to Lakeshore.
It gives us a different market that we did not used to look at before.
Yes.
So now
Bali
we're
sa
able
restaurant
to,
subdivision.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Parang ganun yan. It's
Bakit
open to
there's
the public as
only
well.
one thing that a man does 5 times a day. And that's it. di ba?
That's it, yes. Yes. Yes.
Di ba?
Yes.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, tapos dalawang merienda.
Yes.
That's a
why
Filipino.
The Filipinos, they eat 5 times.
Yeah.
that's why we even told them it's really centered on flavor. Even the parks will be like a mango park where you'll have mango trees. You can pick some fruit.
Oh, how
You'll have a
beautiful.
coffee park. You'll have a
Okay,
coffee
yeah.
shop.
I like
and
coffee
then,
park.
Yes.
Sarap ng
That's
smell.
cool.
A chili park
Yeah.
as well. So people will see the actual trees where the fruits are coming from. It's
Yes.
not like only seeing things in
How many
supermarket.
people
Good,
do you
sustainable.
intend-
Sustainable, yes.
How many
Sustainable.
Yes,
home
healthier.
buyers are you going to entice?
This new community will bring us around 7,000 on the first
7,000.
70 hectares. On the first 70 hectares. We've started and have sold
7,000 di
around.
ang luwag, no?
Yes, sir.
Oo.
And we've already sold around 2,000 lots so far. The market is doing very well.
Very receptive.
Together with
Yeah.
our partners from
And this
Revolution.
is a place that is only how many minutes from Balintawak?
45 minutes away from
45 minutes.
Balintawak. So
45 minutes.
it's
ah.
actually easier to go home to Pampanga than to go home to Cavite.
Actually, it's
believe you,
faster.
Robert.
Yes.
Faster than driving from Shaw Boulevard to BGC.
Totoo yun. All right,
Like
we're
this
gonna cut to short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Jam.
So as you were saying, Flavorscapes gives you a new lifestyle, one that is more tuned with sustainability and going back to nature. So one way to implement that is how we build it. We actually are in the method of doing prefabricated homes. So it's like a Lego set. Just think of it. Your home can be built in less than a month, in less than 2 weeks even, depends on the size. But by using the prefabricated method, you use less labor workers and you're more efficient in how you produce.
Right.
So it's just like bam, 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 dire-diretso yan. So that's one way we want to promote that
And
lifestyle.
cost-effective. Cost-effective.
And
Yes,
cost-effective
also.
too.
Because imagine building a regular home for 6 months with 20 people.
Yeah.
But this time, you build it in 1 to 2 months only with around 10 people. That's less energy, less materials,
Yes.
less wastage as well. That's why we're
Yes.
using farm concrete.
And less cost. Less
Yes.
Yes,
cost.
less cost. Imagine the labor cost is like 1/3.
1 million lang ang bahay mo doon?
Yes, sir. 1.3. That's already house and lot.
House and
That's already
Meron pa
house
bang
and
ganong
lot.
bahay na 1 million?
And this is a house that is built
This
well.
1 million with a footprint of 40 square meters?
45.
45?
sir.
45?
Yes, and not only that, it's because it's prefab. Usually a prefab is just you bring a unit right on the site and it's done. But this one we said we want to create something different. We want to partner with the communities around the development.
Saka prefab
we
is
want people
stronger,
from
no?
Mexico to
Stronger
help
pa
us
siya.
build the units. We want to give them opportunity.
So you get the people from surrounding
Yes.
surrounding communities to
Yes.
actually help build.
Yes.
Help build.
And in a way, we have a
It's very
better
social.
That
relationship
was
with
the
yes.
original
Yes.
concept
It's
of
a
building
social
houses,
cause.
di ba?
Yeah.
This
Yes, sir.
barangay, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Diba?
You'll be
Yes, sir.
surprised at that price range. It looks luxurious and designed by famous architects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, syempre. So in a,
1.3
Not us only.
million.
We have other architects.
1.3 million, grabe ha.
That's very
Kaya pala
nice,
naka
no?
2,000 na kayo?
Yes, sir.
2,000.
Yes, sir.
Reselling.
yeah. So in a nutshell, the future of architecture and real estate in a nutshell.
What we discovered in this new project, Flavorscape, is the new market, the millennials. And the millennials use social media in communicating. No? So we pre-sold over 2,000. We don't even have a brochure.
Ah, ganun?
They
Online
just-
lang lahat yan?
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
take a
They
look at
just
their
are
phone,
social,
on their
yeah.
iPad.
Everything is digital.
You're holding
Everything
your
is
cell
digital.
phone the whole day, so
That's
what
right.
better way to keep your
Exactly.
brochure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grabe,
And that's how we
bahay na-
communicate
bahay
anyway,
na-
really.
Also.
Bahay na 45 square meter floor area, mas mura pa sa kotse yan.
Yes, sir. We
And
are
it is
telling
well
them.
planned, very efficient in planning.
Knowing you, it must. No?
Very efficient.
We're
Yeah.
telling
And
them it's a
cost-efficient.
better investment than a car. This
Congratulations.
doesn't
Congratulations,
depreciate.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
doesn't
agree.
depreciate.
It only appreciates.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
One
All
family
right.
where design, architecture, planning, and artistry
All
runs in
rolled
the
in
gene.
one.
Runs
Yes.
in
Rolled
the
in one.
gene.
Yeah. Well, we wish you more power.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you
Thank
Thank you
you
for
for
inviting us
and
here.
congratulations. I can't wait to see Flavorscape.
Yes, we'll
actually.
invite
And
you
of course,
soon.
we'd like to invite you to come to Flavorscape or the Lakeshore.
They want to taste the
Yeah.
flavor and view the
And
landscape.
serve you the famous Kapampangan dishes.
That's right.
Your tibok-tibok.
Tibok-tibok. Yeah.
Tibok-tibok.
Tibok-tibok. Gusto ko yan. Ang hirap hanapin yan sa Metro Manila.
Dadalhin ko na lang sa'yo.
We'll send you some.
All right, you watch another episode of BizNews. I'm Elizabeth Lee, together with Tony Lopez. See us every Monday at 10 p.m. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night. God bless. Thanks for watching.